What up, everybody? This is LG, the movie man, with Wait For It Movie Reviews, where we let you know if you should go see it or if you should wait for it. But today, we're not going to do any movie reviews. We're actually just going to recap Season 8, Game of Thrones. By the way, there's going to definitely be spoiler alerts. If you haven't watched it, turn down your volume. Let's just talk about the things that went wrong, which there are a lot to talk about there. But let's talk about some of the things they got right. They basically cut the season short. A little fact that I found out is HBO came to the producers and said, "Hey, let's do 10 episodes this season to finish it out. We got enough in the budget to do 10." So the writers and the showrunners and the producers say, "No, you know what? We can handle this in 6." And so with that said, these 6 episodes did not cover what needed to be covered. Let's start off. We find out Jon is really a Targaryen. He's found this information out. Bran knows this information. Daenerys knows this information, and then it's starting to spread like the rumor spreads. Sansa and Arya, promised Jon they wouldn't tell anybody. What Sansa do right away? She tells Tyrion. Now, my problem with this is, okay, Jon finds out he's a Targaryen. He's riding fucking dragons now. He's, basically the closest thing to being the rightful king as you can get. But his coined phrase through the whole season, "I don't want it. I don't want it." I mean, I think he had 2 lines the whole season 8. His 2 lines were, "I don't want it," and "You'll always be my queen." And that's it. And so I feel, did the writers not have enough to talk about to give him more lines, or did he just not want to talk? Did he just not want to? He didn't want to commit to season 8, and he did it anyway. But my whole thing is, so he finds this out, and what does he do with it? He doesn't do anything with it. So it's something that's pointless. Like all the shit that they went through and they were going through, and the only thing, it just fucked up his relationship with Daenerys. Up there in the north, they ain't with that. Getting with your sister, cousin, auntie, they ain't with that. But of course, Jaime and his twin sister, Cersei, they even closer than brother and sister. They're twins. They were in the same, and they got down to the point where they've had a couple children, and they've all died. But the end of the day, I just feel like, okay, a proper movie, say for instance, they show you a gun in the first scene. By the last scene, you should be seeing that gun fire. The gun never fired with finding out Jon is a Targaryen. It's pointless. Nothing happened. So that was, the one thing that did happen, which was cool. He got to ride the dragon. Boom, cool. The second thing, let's just start with Daenerys. She goes through this long journey on trying to get to the Iron Throne. Once getting there, she decides to burn down the whole of all of King's Landing. Now, she didn't quite damage, she didn't burn down the actual Iron Throne herself. She, I think, actually kept in mind that she wanted to actually sit on it, so she just burned the actual, where, say, Cersei and her family took over the Iron Throne. Instead of, there used to be like a 5-point star, which was like a Targaryen symbol on the red key. They took that off and put their family crest. So she burned that down, knowing that she was gonna maybe put a dragon up there or something, or maybe she was gonna put the star back up. Who knows? But once getting inside the red keep and seeing the throne, this one thing she's been fighting so hard for, she never sat in the throne. She never sat down. And that was the whole point of her taking over King's Landing, is to enjoy the fruits of her labor. So, I mean, of course she did scorch the whole city. There's nothing left there, but the throne was at least left, and I would have liked to see her sit in the fucking throne. So at that point, she's mad. She's crazy. Jon don't want that pussy no more, because she his auntie. And what she always had a problem with is being lonely, being like where people don't notice her, or you know, she's basically second place, you know. And even knowing that not really everybody knows Jon is actually the rightful king, she knows it in the back of her head, and with knowing that, she just can never accept it. So she's a little crazy, she's a little mad, but she used the excuse that Cersei had her people and used them as a weapon against her, which I don't know. I mean, that sounds pretty crazy. Like, these people are surrendering and she's just in her feelings, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, fuck it, everybody's gonna burn, you know? But at the end of the day, it is war, and you know, you get casualties at war. Now, in the 21st century, we have such things as called rules at war, or rules of engagement. How you going to actually have battles, or how you, I don't think they had that type of thing, you know? She has a dragon. She's gonna burn shit. And unfortunately, she just burnt all of King's Landing. Now, if you remember, there was just in season 7, when they got to you know, that Westeros, one of her dragons burnt and killed a little kid, and she was so upset about this one little kid getting burnt that she chained her dragons up. If you remember, they were chained up in the dungeon for almost a whole like, you know, she didn't ever take them out unless she wanted to feed them like some evil people. She'd take them down there and let them walk out in front of the dragon. They, you know, that's what she did. So for her to burn all of King's Landing, she had to be out of her mind. And you know, love make you do crazy things, because I think she really did love Jon Snow, and she loved being the queen. And Jon was a threat to all of that, you know. And once Jon knew that that was his auntie, he never really treated her the same, you know what I mean? He loved her, but in the back of his head, he's like, this is my auntie, man, I can't smash. Couldn't even kiss her, you know what I mean? But with that said, she was definitely mad. Took a little part from her family genetics. But let's say this, had she not burned King's Landing and she, you know, left it like it was, Cersei's still alive, what do you do with Cersei? Do you leave her as a prisoner for life? Do you let her live with you, like, you know, in the same city? Like, you can't go from being the queen to being, like, what, you gonna be chained up all your life? You gonna kill her? You gonna let your dragons do it? So that's really the point. Like, what else was she gonna do? She's sitting there, she's thinking like, Cersei really didn't ring the bell herself. She didn't tell somebody to ring the bell. She actually was gonna wait it out too. Hey people, like, comment, and then hit that subscribe button. Wait for it, movie reviews.